everyone, we're going to find the maximum and minimum values for f of x equals sine of x plus absolute value of cosine of x, and that's over the interval 0 to 2 pi. So the first thing we want to do is notice something with I want to write everything in terms of sine so we can find the maximum and minimum values. So I notice that cosine, absolute value of cosine of x equals the square root of cosine squared of x. And now I can write this using my Pythagorean identities as 1 minus sine squared of x. Now I'm just going to substitute that in for this. All right, also I'm going to let sine of x equals t. And since my domain is from 0 to 2 pi, then my range, my t, will have to be in between -1 and 1. So this is what we're going to be looking at, our endpoints for a minimum and maximum value. So let's do the substitution. Instead of f of x, I'll just write y equals, and I'm going to substitute sine of x for t. So this is going to be t plus, now I'm using this for my absolute value of cosine. So that's going to be square root of 1 minus t squared. All right, therefore my derivative is going to be 1 plus, and remember this is 1 plus t squared to the power of 1/2. So that's going to be 1/2 1 minus t squared times derivative of the inner function, which is -2t. Simplified gives me, this is -1/2 here. This gives me 1 plus -2t divided by 2 times the square root of 1 minus t squared. Now, since I have to set this to 0 to find the maximum and minimum values, I am going to get my common denominator. I'm going to also cross those 2's out. So to get my common denominator, I'm going to need this under here. So I have to multiply this also by 1 minus t squared. So basically what we're going to get is square root of 1 minus t squared minus t, all divided by square root of 1 minus t squared. All right, now let's go ahead and set this to 0 and solve for t. So let's see what we get. When we set it to 0, what's going to happen is the denominator is going to go away here. So we just have to look at this numerator, and let's see, we're going to get square root of 1 minus t squared minus t equals 0. Or let's add t to both sides, and we're going to get t equals square root of 1 minus t squared. Now, for your domain for this under the radical has to be greater than or equal to 0 for square root functions. Now, let's square both sides. So if I square both sides, we'll get t squared equals 1 minus t squared. Let's add t squared to both sides. You get 2t squared equals 1. So when you divide both sides by 2, you get t squared equals 1/2. And then you square root both sides, you get t equals plus or minus 1 divided by square root of 2. But we can't use the minus because it has to be greater than 0 here. So our critical number is t equals 1 divided by square root of 2. Can't use the negative. All right. Now that we have that, we have our critical numbers. So let's go ahead and substitute. We have y We're still looking at our y. So let me write the y down again. Our y was, I forgot what our y was. Let's see. Y was, I have this written down, square root of 1 minus t squared minus t divided by square root of 1 minus t squared. All right. Now let's evaluate all our critical numbers. So at y, when we have t equals 1 divided by square root of 2, this is going to equal, and you substitute it back into your y, you're going to get 1 divided by square root of 2 plus square root of 1 minus 1 half equals 1 divided by square root of 2 plus 1 divided by square root of 2. That's just going to equal square root of 2. And basically, I'm not using this formula. I'm using this one here. Let me rewrite what I had before. I'm using this one. We're using y equals t plus square root of 1 minus t squared. Normally, I would redo this video, but it's too long, so I don't want to. Sorry about that. All right, so there we go. There's your y. I would put the derivative up instead. All right. Now we have to do our endpoints. Remember, our t was in between -1 and 1. So we also have to evaluate our y where our t equals 1. That's just going to equal 1 plus 1, or 1 plus 0, and that's going to equal 1. And where our t equals -1, that's going to equal -1 plus 0, and that equals -1. So let's look and see what our max and mins are. Our maximum value is our biggest number right here. So your max value is square root of 2, and that's at x, or at t equal 1 divided by square root of 2. Now this happens where x equals pi divided by 4 and x equals 3 pi divided by 4. All right, so there's your maximum value. And to keep this on the same page, I'm just going to write the minimum value up here. Your minimum value is your smallest number, and your smallest number here is -1. So that happens at -1, and that's where t equals -1 here. But your x would have to be at 3 pi divided by 2. All right, and that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.